Hello, and welcome to Atomic Radio Hour, the show that dives into the wreckage that is post-apocalyptia. I am your host, Vince. I'm here with two people today, one of them being...
your young scholar, Declan.
And a special guest of ours. Would you like to introduce yourself, ma'am?
Sure. An older scholar, Heather.
How's everybody doing? What's new?
Not much. Teaching young scholars.
Cool.
I am just
Are learning
busy
from
at
older
work
scholars?
at school. It's a very studious episode.
Yeah. Wait till you hear what the lore is.
Ooh, I'm ready.
Let's just jump right into it.
Yeah, let's do it.
There's an unmarked quest, which I didn't even write down the name of it because I didn't really think about the quest itself. I thought about the characters and the environment. Scribe Yearling and the Arlington Library. Now, I know I'm going to get a ton of shit for the way I say library. I have said it that way. I have said it that way, I think, until I was 15, and nobody gave me a problem. And then all of a sudden, like the day after my 15th birthday,
They just inserted an R right there after your 15th birthday. I was there for it.
What?
That was a transitional time for you.
Yeah.
No, I've always said library. Like it I have to think to say it the other way.
Library?
Yeah, I have to look at the word and look at its root origin and see if it's a Roman or Germanic language. It's so.
Thank you for at least knowing some root words there.
The pen is mightier than the sword. Scribe Yearling is the exact opposite of Scribe Rothschild. She's a scribe for the Brotherhood of Steel, assigned to the Order of the Quill. She is the commander of the Brotherhood of Steel garrison at the Arlington Library. She was born in 2247. This is in Fallout 3, of course, because Arlington. She's born in 2247. She's 30 years old. Her mission is to gather as much pre-war knowledge as possible. She had multiple arguments with Scribe Jameson, and that's why she was put here. She was put to make sure she was away from the Citadel. So the Arlington Library is the Library of Congress. It's mostly intact, mostly occupied by raiders. And in the entire building, there's about 700 books in the entirety of it, be it small burn books, large burn books, pre-war books, and skill books. It's something that I wanted to bring up for a few reasons. One, I think the way that knowledge kind of plays a role within the game is super interesting, especially pre-war knowledge, because you can take pre-war books to Scribe Yearling and be like, here's a book, now give me money. And she actually says one of her dialogue options is like, you bring me book, I give you money, because that's all you care about. And I was
wow.
You're not wrong. And, we reviewed the Book of Eli on here before. And that whole movie is a movie about, I need this book so I can take advantage of other people. And there's in the Punisher comics, there is actually a arc that takes place after some sort of apocalyptic event. And there's a cult leader, and the Punisher takes the cult leader's Bible and beats him to death with his own Bible.
That's pretty metal.
Yeah. So... all of this, I thought, was an interesting topic, and also, if this is the first time you're listening to the show, we have a running joke where the reason why I don't know common knowledge is because I went to public school.
I take offense to this.
Oh. and Heather here was my public school teacher. So
there's gonna be a comeuppance right now.
We've gone full circle, guys.
We brought public school onto the show.
I wanna bring up the fact that I tried to teach you some things, but you may have been the one who put commas after every single word.
All right, because okay. Before I had your class, commas were a foreign thing to me. I barely understood how they were used, and the only time I knew how to use them was after the word "and."
I have a student who's in a very similar situation with me this year.
Yeah.
I told him his relationship with capital letters was sketchy at best.
He's going to end up running a podcast. You better watch.
That was a direct quote from his paper.
Did he just put them anywhere?
It was just the most random thing. Well, his relationship with grammar really is kind of sketchy at best, but it was in a lot of places. But then there were just random capital letters in different places.
Like in the middle of the word?
In the middle of it, like just in the middle of a sentence, like is all of a sudden capitalized. And I was like, what are you doing? Why are you doing
it? It doesn't go there.
It doesn't go there. I was like, there wasn't even supposed to be a period. Like, sometimes if there's supposed to be a period and then the next word's... I'm like, all right, I get this. There wasn't even supposed to be a period. No punctuation. It was just like all of a sudden is became very important in the sentence. So, how I had to give the feedback, I ended up having to type out, and I don't know. But I ended up typing out your relationship with capital letters is sketchy at best.
That's so funny, though.
So he came into school the next day. He's like, so I hear my relationship with capital letters is sketchy. He didn't understand it as I wrote it. So he had to ask someone else what that comment meant. He was putting it into like an English to Shakespeare translator.
No.
I think he was doing it just to be funny, but yeah, it was just hilarious, the whole thing.
That kid's gonna grow up to be a poet.
Oh, he's gonna be awesome, honestly. He's a very good legal mind. Very, very good that way.
Really?
Yeah, very good literal, like, logical arguments, very good arguments and stuff like that. But it's just funny because he goes, I believe I skipped the part where we talked about commas in the last 8 years of my education.
No, like, yeah, I get it. I totally get it. Because I remember I had your class, and you're like, these sentences, they run on, and I'm like, yeah, I know, but I don't really know how to stop it. And you're like, but the comma, and I'm like, but the who?
Comma, don't know her.
Are you threatening me?
Oh.
Yeah. So I mean, public school. Which is not really funny because now I write shows for this show.
Yeah. His writing is pretty decent, but his spelling is sketchy at best.
It's atrocious. Atrocious.
Have I just given you a new thing? It's something sketchy at best.
I've said that before, but I really like the way that you said it. Just that situation alone has just now drafted that into my dictionary.
Fantastic.
Especially if you take a little bit of a pause, like, your relationship with X is sketchy at best.
Yes. I believe when I wrote it, there were some ellipses involved.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Jesus. I don't know where a comma goes, but I know how an ellipse is used.
Hey.
But you know what? I think it's important to know how to properly use an ellipses.
It really is.
Because my parents... love them, but...
Oh, I know where this is going. Yeah. I know how your dad texts me. Yeah. Oh my God, I'm getting, like, anxiety thinking about it.
I have to deal with that in my life, so...
Okay, hold on. Let's draft out one real quick. It's hey, bro, ... no space. If you want those chairs, ... they're on the back porch. ... let me know. ... Oh
every single text comes across as passive-aggressive because they don't know how to properly use an ellipses.
He sends me something, I'm like, what did I do to you?
Yeah, like, am I allowed to come by the house anymore?
Yeah, like, what happened? What did they tell you? Oh, dude, I get... And, like, it has to be when you're 35 and older. Because people that are 35 and older, I just don't think they understand what the space bar is.
I don't know. I don't understand. I think it's a very specific subset of 35 and older. Because, I'd say we're, like, getting older now. Because I'm getting close to that age bracket, which worries me, honestly. But
oh, no.
We're, like, the elder millennials. We do know what it is.
But you can't do a Fortnite dance.
Oh, excuse you. I'm an 8th grade teacher. I can do a Fortnite dance.
How much avocado toast have you eaten in the past 24 hours?
Oh my God, I don't even want to talk about it. I can't. Do you know how many times I've had the song "Feel the Avocado" stuck in my head?
Really?
Do you know?
Why? Because you're an 8th grade teacher?
Yes, and they just play it for you over and over again. It's like, yo, this, you got to see this. And
do you want us to bleep that out?
Yeah, you can bleep that out. That'd be hilarious.
Yeah.
I'll just put a duck noise. Because we were talking about a kid in our last episode that I didn't...
Yeah. Good idea.
Hi, you went to the wrong Discord channel.
Who was that?
What do you mean, who was that? I'm talking to you.
Wait, no. Who entered the Discord?
No, you did. You ended up moving to the AFK channel.
How?
I don't know what you're doing on your side. I'm just sitting here staring at a blank screen and talking.
I don't... but
that is what I'm doing as well.
Hold on a second. Wait a second. If you enter the AFK section, welcome to the most professional show on the planet.
Yes.
If you enter the AFK section, is it because you weren't talking?
It's because you either didn't have mic activity or you put yourself there.
What do you mean mic activity? I've been talking to Michael phone this whole time.
I know. So what I'm saying is you probably misclicked or something.
Declan, I had my hands are freezing. I had my arms crossed and like the Molly Shannon superstar hand under the armpits because I'm so cold. Look.
Well,
I wasn't touching my computer.
Discord gave you the boot, so...
Link to the Discord in the bottom.
But as you were saying before...
Sorry. I didn't know what happened. I thought someone joined. I was like, what is this?
But there was this kid.
Yeah, so this kid, he's like killing terrorists, and we said his name, and I put a wah in so like you wouldn't hear it. So there's like a good probably 5 to 10 minutes of just random wah because we kept saying this kid, and then we said like a couple teachers' names.
Yeah.
But,
that's awesome. I would be honored to be the noise.
But what if we put one there? It's like, what did she say now?
That's just going to be like creative editing at this point.
Oh, that's my favorite part of the show.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god, put in like little glitches and stuff. I never like talk about it. Like I talk about it every once in a while, and I don't know if people notice it or not, but I will put in like there was one scene where I like couldn't think and I went for like at least 30, not 30 seconds, probably like 10, 15 seconds, and I just put drums over it. But like no one ever talked about it.
Aww.
So I didn't know if it was like relating. But no.
Alright, just on a side note, I'm right now like in my head jamming out to the BTS in the background.
What does a Korean pop group have to do with this?
Just as a side note, because they're like my favorite.
Oh really?
Oh my god, yes.
Oh, I didn't know if you were like being serious or not. I was like
I am
making
being
a haha.
serious.
Oh,
I love
cool.
them.
Really?
I full on love them.
I know nothing of them.
Nor do I.
Oh my god, they're so good.
Are we leaving this in?
Sure.
No, we don't have to.
Okay.
I don't think you really want to have like a side note of a Korean pop group. I'll stop talking about them, but I love them and they're amazing.
If you want to keep going.
They are totally worth looking into, I'm not going to lie. Like
really?
Yeah, they have like really good stuff. Their older stuff, they talk about how school is run like a machine and it's just used to churn out like non-standardized kids who are expected to go into workforce, and you're told that you have to have a specific type of dream in order to be successful. That kind of stuff.
Hold on a second.
That seems really down Vince's alley.
Yeah.
I know, right? That was back...
This is a Korean pop group?
Yes! That was back when they were more hip-hop.
What?
What?
And hip-hop? That's Vince's shit.
And then
hold on a second.
You're looking for No and No More Dream for those two. And then they had this giant running arc. It was like a Bildungsroman that they used as reference and then as what they used, because they talked about, oh god, there's this whole like story arc in their videos of like talking about depression and suicide and pressures and like all these different aspects of society. And then there's, oh my god, there's a really good one. It's my favorite. And they criticize the government for creating the financial situation that's currently happening to the younger generation, and then criticizing the younger generation for not being able to navigate it. It's a good song. It's good stuff.
Alrighty.
That sounds freaking cool.
Yeah, see? Don't write it off. It's good stuff.
I don't know why, but as you described how they talk about the socio and economical injustices that go on within today's modern world, for some reason the first thing I thought of was Death Grips.
Yeah.
Oh.
Death Grips comes up quite often in our Discord.
I don't know why, I've been on a real Death Grips kick lately. The first thing I looked up was BTS Death Grips, and I got Serendipity. And BTS Psycho Salad featuring Death Grips. And
What?
I don't know how to say this word. ANP and Pomamani? Which is another, I guess... the description says, "Why you sad, Chief? IDK Nan Mola. Not
Wait.
Samus." What?
Wait. What was it?
It's An. I think the song is ANPANM.
Anpan Man.
Anpan Man with Tachyon.
What?
Yeah.
Tachyon can be
Anpan-
mixed with anything.
Anpan Man is just like their superhero of like giving yourself a little bit of yourself to others to make them happy. Is like
Okay.
it's the thing. I don't know, but yeah, that's what Anpan Man is.
That's actually pretty interesting.
Yeah.
So I have a question for our guest.
Okay.
Because this comes up a lot where I go to school, but I want you, a literary professional, I want your opinion, your insight. But, in your opinion, do you consider video games literature works of art? Because there's entire courses dedicated to that here.
Honestly, I think certain ones, yes. I mean, as with all things, because not every book is a work of like a work of art, and not everything can like be considered, art. I think some can definitely extend to that realm because of the storytelling, the artistry behind them, the production. I think they can reach that level of a literary impact on the viewer and the player. They can have that impact on them. Because realistically, if graphic novels can reach that level, I mean, it's just in some ways like rudimentary, like you're almost just kind of animating a graphic novel and playing it. So it's kind of a fine line drawn there about it. I'm not going to call all video games art because that's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of Octodad right now in my head, and I'm like,
Octodad is art, though.
You don't think Minecraft is art?
Minecraft, I think, is art.
oh, Minecraft.
No. I think all of the parody songs that Minecraft has spawned is art.
Oh God.
I still see
how many of those I've had to listen to.
Oh my God. You work at like a meme factory.
I do. 8th grade boys, are you kidding me?
You must be so plugged in.
It's all the time.
Like
What's
finger
your
on the
favorite
pulse.
What's your favorite meme?
oh,
Let's go from one serious question to a stupid one. What's your favorite?
fantastic. Love it. My favorite meme, I think still it's in like my heart that I still love it, is because it relates so much to me half the time, is the Kermit sipping iced tea going, but I don't know anything about that. Like,
Yeah.
that is still one of my favorites. I'm going to go with that one right now. So I'm kind of not loving the whole Shaggy wave that's happening in memes right now. So
See, I like the Shaggy wave. I think it's funny.
I'm not a huge fan of the Shaggy wave that's going on. Like, Shaggy's only using 1% of his power, and like I'm okay with it. But now that one hit old really quickly for me.
They're funny. They don't have staying power.
Yeah.
Like hit or miss is still hilarious to me.
Oh my God. Again, I cannot say that phrase. I can't. I had to edit it from my entire language.
Because of that TikTok?
Dead. Every single time I would be trying to describe something in class, I'm like, yeah, it's pretty hit or miss. And all of a sudden,
like everyone shakes.
one of these great boys is like, hit or miss. Yes, I never miss, huh? I'm like, no, stop. I can't. Yeah.
You know what? And like, you want to talk about literary things? That song is not a good song.
No.
But do you know what it's about? Do you know what the actual song is about?
Yes. Because
Okay.
I looked that up because I don't want to be a teacher who references it and then I'm like, oh no, I shouldn't have referenced that.
Declan,
And
do
I
you know what
looked
it's
it up.
about?
I know what it's
Like,
about, yeah. It's a diss track.
I know what the TikTok is about, and I get where like how the kids are getting it from the TikTok. I'm like, I don't know how many of the kids actually know this song.
Yeah, the song. It's not a good song, but that first, for those at home who don't know, they're dissing a porn star because that's the year we live in.
Yep.
Do you know how the beef started?
No.
Okay, so the song is called Mia Khalifa by a group called I Love Friday, and there are two people in the group, Zaino Carr, who is the African American gentleman who sings in the beginning, and then there is a female on the second verse whose name is Smoke Hajib, right? And something happened where Mia Khalifa tweeted at her and ashamed of yourself for smoking marijuana in a hijab, and she replied with, "You have sex on camera in a hijab," and they made a song dissing her. So that first few lines of hit or miss, I guess they never miss, is a genius intro to a song. I can't get over how good, like, I know it's a meme, and I know it's a shitty meme at that, but, like, I'll sit there, like, every time I hear that song, I'm going, you had the best opener of all time. Like, you gave the audience, you brought up a statement, ended it with a question, and then with that there's enough of a pause there to let the audience actually think about what you just said. That is genius level, what you just accomplished. And the rest of the song is just dog ass. It's just like,
it really is truly terrible. The best thing is, though, at one of the dances, the kids played the quote-unquote clean version of it.
The Queen?
And I was like...
Wait, who's the Queen?
No, the Clean. Like,
oh, the Clean. I thought you said the Queen.
Yeah,
I was like, oh,
the
Freddie's
clean
here?
version of it. And let me tell you, the clean version is just like the beats and somebody going, yeah. And then it's like that verse, and then maybe a couple other lines, and then it goes back to the beat. Like, there's nothing clean about that song. So it's just like, yeah.
That's incredible.
Oh, it's just so ridiculous.
So what's your favorite Fortnite dance?
I'm not, no.
No, we're not doing that on this show.
No.
Yes, Declan, my opinion, video games can be art. Red Dead 1 makes me cry. I mean, we've talked about that before. Getting back to a serious
Okami is the best game ever made, so.
I mean, you're allowed to be wrong.
Oh my god, I will end your life in a single second.
It's not that I don't like Okami. I don't like the pacing of it.
Oh, but it's so good, though.
It's the best game ever made. It just is. It's a proven fact.
It's the best game ever made, but it really is a good game. I just re-downloaded it. Like, it is a really good game.
I 100% it once a year.
Once a year?
Yeah.
No, that's bullshit. You're not allowed to tell me I'm tired and stressed out if you're 100%ing Okami once a year.
I usually do it over a break. Like, that's usually a thing I do in the summer.
That's a lot of work, homie.
I know everything about it.
I was going to say, after you 100%, after a little while, I mean, you just kind of automatically start doing it. I can see that.
Yeah. Like, I know where all the secrets are.
All of them?
Yes.
Every one?
Yes.
You don't have to look up a guide.
For some of the harder ones, once in a while, but I'd say I know where 95% of the secrets are. Just off the top of my head.
I've probably played the pit more times than I've called loved ones, and I still have to look up where all the ingots are.
That's fair. They're kind of nonsensically placed, though, in terms of, like, the level design.
Yeah. It's not like a linear path. It's like, here's a cluster here, and here's a cluster there. Have fun.
Yeah.
And then my favorite part with collecting shit like that is it's like, oh, here, I know there's a big cluster here and a big cluster there, and then I get down to like 80 of them, and I just can't find the rest. So I go on YouTube and look up a video, and then it's just me for 45 minutes going to places I've already been.
Yep. So you might as well just start with the video and follow their path so you're not wasting time just doing nothing.
Yeah.
But then it doesn't feel like you're accomplishing anything.
Exactly. I've been trying to special guest Kyle.
I have to do this on my own.
Yeah, exactly. I have to feel like I'm accomplishing something.
That's actually part of what makes games fun in terms of, like, theory of video games.
Oh, yeah, dude. Why do you think World of Warcraft is so successful? That game is a dopamine factory.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You walk to a guy with a thing on over his head and you go, an exclamation point. You go up to him and you're like, clickety clack, I need to know when I should come back, and they're just like, okay, go kill 13 boars and come back, and then you're like, here, and then ding, and then it's like, oh yes, I did something productive. Now I can go back to bed for 14 hours.
Yeah. That is just it. It gives people a sense of fulfillment in their lives, especially if they feel as though they're not getting it other places. So that's why we have addictions. But yes, it's like,
so it's not my fault.
I did. Oh.
Well, you're now justified for everything you've ever done that's shitty.
Done.
Good. Like, I was having a conversation with somebody last night, and it was like, how do I know if somebody loves me if I can't make them cry? You know what I mean? That's such a terrible view on the world, and I don't condone that. I don't agree with it.
That is terrible. I'm not gonna lie. As if I can't make them cry. All right, I'm gonna stick on that one for a second.
Write that down.
I'm gonna process that.
Since we have a professional public school educator.
Oh no.
And I feel like we've talked about going to a facility of public learning enough times. We should kind of. I feel like I should ask. And since you had us as students. What kind of students were we? Oh,
well, I didn't have Declan. I can only comment on you, Vince.
Oh, you didn't have Declan?
Nope.
No, I didn't have Declan. He came, I only met Declan when he came into the game club.
I thought you had him.
No. The first time I met young Heather was game club.
Which, that's a whole other thing we have to talk about, too.
Oh, yeah. That was
I actually just found my shirt from it.
Oh my god.
Let's just hold on. Because I'm curious to know what you have to say, but I want to talk about this real quick.
Okay.
I want to say the year was 2011 in the year of our Lord. Or 10. I don't remember.
11. It was 10 or 11. It had to be.
It was almost a decade ago.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, how do you... Yeah, oh, that's such a long time ago. Declan, I feel like I've been 35 since I was 12.
You look like you've been 35 since you were 12.
I know. 2010, 2011.
Yeah.
These kids messaged me on Facebook. They were twins.
Oh,
and I
God.
think one of them listens. So shout out to you, homie. And... he messages me, one of the twins. We'll call them Twin A and Twin 1 because I don't want anyone to think that one was better than the other.
Wait. Oh, okay. So you don't want 1 and 2. It's A and 1.
Yeah, it's A and 1.
I love that.
You never heard that before?
No.
That's from Futurama. You should watch it. It's only been out for fucking 15 years.
Yeah, I know.
No, longer. It's almost 20. I think the show came out in 2000 or 2001.
Oh,
anyway,
yeah. Yeah, that came out. Oh, my God.
These kids message me, and he's like, hey, man, I'm starting a club. And we're going to have young Heather as the person in charge of it. And I was like, dude, I'm in. And they did a job. Not going to say if it was good or bad, but they did a job.
They were there.
There was a time...
They were humans in the room.
That they were.
There was a time where someone got mad and threw a book, and I remember nobody got in trouble. And I remember being very upset. Like, literally a book. Like, it wasn't just like, oh, he threw like, oh, I've heard of throwing the book at somebody. Like, he tossed a book across the room. And you had one of the only rooms at the time that had all computers in it.
Uh-huh.
And they decided they were moving.
Yep.
I don't remember why.
Well, I don't think they just decided they were
no. Time to move now, brother.
Time for us to leave. I must go now, like Poochie in The Simpsons. So they go to leave, and they're like, "Hey, do you want to run our club?" And I was like, "Do I?" So. They had a Sega Genesis. No, I did. And like when I decided I was going to take it over, they were like, "Here's a Sega, like a Genesis. If you ever want to play it, it's like because we would." So okay, so hold on. Context: the club itself was a club that was about like video games and movies and TV and music, and I always wanted to bring it to more media than just video games. But everyone's just like, "My video," and not like in a bad way. Like whatever, we came together.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like I always wanted to broaden it, and they're like here since if we don't have anything to do, because we would set up like weeks in advance, like, oh, we're gonna play GTA, or we're gonna play Skate, or we're gonna play Mario Party, or we're gonna play Mario Kart, we're gonna do a bunch of other whatever. They were like, here's the Sega. I still have the Sega.
Oh my god.
I didn't know what to do with it when the club eventually shut down.
Yeah, that is a question.
So I was just like, Sega.
Spoiler alert, the club shut down?
Yeah, sorry. So
in that iteration of the club shut down.
Yes.
Yeah.
Version 1.
Yeah. There was and the first year, I think, I don't want to toot my own bassoon, but I think when I kind of got a hold of it, I made it a little better, I'd like to think.
Yeah.
I gave it some structure.
Yeah, it was more structured under your leadership, shall we say. Because I was only ever like, oh, I am the supervisor of watching you guys try to run your own club.
Yeah.
And so that first bit, I just kind of sit back and watch and be like, this is interesting. Okay. This is what's happening now. Alrighty. And then it developed into something that a lot of people wanted to be a part of. So that was something that was really nice about it.
Yeah. It was
the amount of people who wanted to come in and be involved in it.
It was like I don't want to say a safe haven, but it was a nice place that we could all kind of get together for
nerds
an hour.
To go be nerds.
Yeah.
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 And like a lot of people were meeting each other through it. Like, oh, do you also do this? Amazing. So that was really neat. I liked that about it. It wasn't just like the same group who hung out of school came in and they were in the room together. It was like, it was bringing the different people in to, get to know each other through it. So that's the part that I really loved about it.
No, it was awesome.
Yeah.
It was like Ellis Island.
Yeah.
It was just all these people getting together and just
throwback to 2 minutes ago when Vince said he's trying not to toot his own horn.
Oh my god. I'm not saying that I did this. I'm saying the idea of it, Declan.
I know. I'm just kidding.
Jesus.
Yeah. He was a kid who became really good friends.
He was a kid with a dream.
Someone else through the club.
Yeah. Yeah, schmuck.
Can we just bring that up?
The whole reason we're friends is because of the club, you shithead.
Mario Party bringing some people together while destroying others.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. We had a lot of good laughs. I remember there was a time where I wanted to play Street Fighter, and this is before I took it over. I was just having a ton of fun. I was having too much fun, and this kid and I just went at it, and he beat me by he beat me marginally. Yeah. And I remember the teacher that was below, because you were on the second floor, the teacher that was below came up and was like, "Can you shut the hell up?" And I remember I felt really bad, and I don't really have an ending for the story. I just wanted to tell it.
No, you just were like, we got yelled at.
Yeah.
Yeah. That happened a lot.
Games were played. Grandmas were unplugged.
Son, I'm so happy you remember that.
That was my first meeting.
So happy. That was your first day?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
Are we just going to leave that one hanging?
No, I don't have anything to say. Someone's grandmother got unplugged. What do you want me to do?
I could talk about that story. So we played a game called Last Word. You okay, young Heather?
Still an amazing game, all right?
It is. I ended up buying it.
Did you really?
Yeah. So I forget how to play, but it's basically a game where someone draws a card, and there's a little timer that's ticking down, and everyone needs to go around the room and say the answer to the card before the timer runs out, and the person that gets the title, Last Word, is the one that gets to advance down the board and potentially try to win. So the prompt was things you unplug from the wall, and the letter was G. And
everybody was silent for a good 10 seconds.
Vince takes his card, slams it on the table, and says,
This wasn't me.
Yeah, it was you.
No, it was Steven.
It was Steven?
Yeah.
Don't.
All right. I thought it was you. So a friend of the show, Steven, takes his card and slams it on the table and says, "Grandma!" And then everyone looked at him and just let him win.
Yeah, there was a big laugh and someone goes, "That's it, he won. Nobody say anything. If you say anything, you're kicked out."
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was,
we let that one stand.
That was so good.
There's a lot of good memes from that.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
We made T-shirts. I still have it.
Yeah.
Do you?
I want to frame it, yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, because it's like, it's no secret if you listen to the show. I hated school, but that was like Friday.
Yeah. And a lot of kids told me that too, like when they were shutting it down.
Mm. Which time?
Well, like when I had it, and they were telling me like, "Oh no, like you just have to get it passed by the school board." And I went, and then they were like, "Oh well, no, you need to come back again." Okay, well I didn't make it the one thing, I had to come back again, and then it was right after they had like a security scare at the school, and they just went, "No, it's too violent." I said, "Well, what if we just play like teen games, because all the kids, it goes to PG-13 stuff, and you know, that's everyone here is that age, and we could just do it like that." Yeah. And they're like, "No, I think PG-13 is too much for these kids too. That's too much." I was like, it's PG-13.
I mean, we're 15.
Really?
Half of us were fucking sexually active and smoking weed. Like, come on. It's high school. I know it's wrong, but
don't humanize my students like that. I don't need that.
No, but do you understand what I'm saying? Like, it's high school.
Oh, yeah.
It's
exactly.
not like...
Which is why I just kind of stood there for a moment and went, what? How disconnected are you from reality?
Yeah. It also didn't help that everybody on the school board was in their 90s.
Yeah, and they just didn't, and they didn't care. They were like, "No, it leads to violence." I'm like, "No, these are the kids it does not lead to. If you give them an outlet and a place to feel included." And no, okay, fine, we're going to go with that. So
the club died, basically.
Yeah.
No, it didn't die.
It was killed.
It was, yeah.
Yes.
Dying would be that it had no interest. It was at peak interest, and they were just like, yeah, no.
Yeah, I just remember that day. I had to come and tell you guys, and like everyone burst into tears, and I was like, "Oh man!"
I remember the day we shut down. I was crying. I was like, "This is the only reason I wanted to come to school."
Yeah,
I remember that. I think it was that day we were leaving, and there was another teacher who I've known. We were leaving, and we were talking to this other teacher, and I was like, "Yeah, man, they shut me down, and this and that." And he's like, "All right, well, look at it like this." He goes, "It's not so much like learn a lesson from it." He goes, "Sometimes you just can't. There's powers that are greater than you, and you just can't do anything about it." And I was so angry when he said it to me. I was like, "You are someone who I've known since I am 3, if not younger." I said, "And that's how you talk to me?" Like, I was so offended by what he said, and like I thought about it like a month or two later, and I was like, "No, you know what? He was right." Like it sucks, but
it's something you couldn't hear in the moment, but it is right. Like, you weren't going to change the mentality of essentially the school. It's just of where their priorities lie. You're not going to change it, and you're not going to change the makeup of the board and like suddenly make them realize of like how important this is to that specific group of kids, especially considering the school itself was not aimed toward an outlet for those kinds of kids. Like,
do you know what I think was funny?
Areas.
It costed them $0.
Yeah,
I know.
We generated everything.
Yeah,
and we generated everything. It literally cost them nothing, and they were like, "No, we should start a home ec club that we're going to pay for."
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not.
Did that ever happen?
Like, I don't know if it ever did. And then they were like, "Oh, no, we should just start a book club instead." I'm like, "But okay, yes, that's a nice idea, but how many kids are going to show up for that?" And I know like a set group maybe. And I was like, "You have a definite interest of like too much interest in this thing." And nope, they just didn't like it. So, and at that point, it wasn't going to change because they had decided like privately. I think they decided privately like that was a no. So, yeah.
That was a great period of time in my life, I think, which is weird because like meta knowledge kind of behind the curtain, you knew me at a time where I was kind of going through a lot of stuff, and that was like a big deal for me. And then when it closed, I think I kind of like I don't know. I think I shut myself off from a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Man.
This is the therapy with young Heather.
That's gonna be the title of the episode.
It hurt me. Like I don't have any other way to say it. It hurt me when they shut it down because I felt like I was being personally attacked because they stood ignorant on the topic. They didn't want to learn anything about it. They were trying to say that it enticed gambling.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it had some ridiculous things about it. It was like, it entices things. It makes you want to do like that. I was like, if anything, it was opening up conversations. I remember one kid's like parent was emailing me like, "Oh, can you just discuss the games you guys are going to play so I can talk about them with my kid at home?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure."
That's really cool.
Yeah, like if anything, it was like, "Oh, he's a part of this," and like then the parent, like I don't know if the parent was taking active interest aside from that too, like just checking. And it was like a conversation thing of like, "Oh, you're going to be doing this game," and to like talk about it, and it was like a really cool thing. And then I had to tell that parent like, never mind, the club is dissolving, like we don't have a place. And like the thing that kills me is if we just could have stayed in that building and I wouldn't have had to go before the school board and we would have just like kept sliding that under the rug. Yeah
Well, to kind of give you we've hit the climax of the story, to kind of give you the epilogue of it. It got shut down. We kind of didn't have anything. I started to hate school even more. And another teacher approached me and said, "Hey, I want to bring it back." Mm-hmm. And shout out to all you animation fans out there. Much like when they tried to bring back Ren and Stimpy for Spike TV, I didn't like its message. I didn't like I felt like it was brought back on these pretenses of non-genuineness, I guess. Mm-hmm. And I just said, all right, you know what? I'm done. I was getting into working out at the time. I said, I gave it to Declan.
Yeah, I inherited the club.
Yeah. And
that was actually where I started my fantasy writing debut.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's where I started doing a lot of game design for fantasy RPGs.
Nice.
So
yeah, you have to see the stuff that he's done. He rewrote all of Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition to fit Fallout.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's incredible.
Wow.
Yeah. It's no, but it was a time that I think just I'm happy that we kind of talked about it because now it's kind of always here. It'll always be a thing. We'll always have that. And actually, like, saying it out loud, I kind of forgot about a lot of it. I think I was just so upset with it that I just kind of pushed it out of my head and was like, that's it. We don't think about it. It hurts.
Yeah.
So
I mean, people never want to talk about it.
Oh, God, they don't do. Why don't they want to talk about it? It's not my fault, Declan. It's not my fault. I don't want to go to the fair. I don't see the problem. I don't want to go to the fair, Rebecca. What's the problem? Why don't you ever want to open up? Oh, you're not close with your father? That's not my problem. Sorry. Sorry. How are we as students? How was I as a student if you didn't have Declan?
We're swinging back to that.
Yeah, because I want to kind of get off this somber note and I kind of want to go into something haha.
Yeah, a little haha.
Because I knew I was a piece of shit, but
let's see. You didn't think enough of yourself, especially in 8th, like when I had you, that you were, I want to say, as smart or as creative or as good as you were. I think like you had hit that point where you didn't get the highest grade, so that just automatically meant you were trash, but you weren't. And I was trying to get that out of you, of like, you're not trash. Like when we were joking about grammar thing, like, yeah, your grammar was terrible, but your stories were amazing. Like they were so good. Like, so I was trying with that one. So you didn't put as much, I guess, like you didn't put as much time or effort into it because I think you like had already felt like you were beat down and you weren't that great anyway. So why put the effort into it? But like you were pretty good. You were some of my better, like especially getting on the emotional depth or like the undercurrent of what something actually meant rather than what it says on the top, the surface. like you were really good with that. So that's
really?
why. Yeah, like you were much.
I agree.
Back then?
Yeah, even back then.
Yeah. You were much better at that than a lot of the other students, which is why I was telling you, no, you should go to a higher English because you have this ability that some of the smarter kids don't even have because they can just recite what you want them to say, but they don't have this thought on their own to be able to figure this kind of stuff out and make these bigger connections. Like you have a great brain that does that. Like even when we were back there talking about BTS, you were like, oh, you know what that sounds like. And you are really good with making these connections that not everyone does. Like you're just really good with that.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
And I even think that based on the shows that you write for the show.
Mm-hmm.
That, and remember your show that you did for drama?
Which one?
Oh, the one with the car crash.
Yeah.
I'll always remember that. I thought it was really good. Yeah.
Did you ever hear that, Heather?
No, I never did.
I'll send it to you. I wrote a radio play. It was like my senior drama class project.
Nice.
I'll send it to you. Did you ever see the Macbeth video?
I have the Macbeth video.
So do I. I watch it 3 times a year.
I don't know if you ever showed me the Macbeth video.
I'll email it to you. I'll email all of it to you.
All right, that sounds good.
No, I was really waiting for you to be like, you didn't do a damn thing.
See, I wouldn't be the teacher I am, though, if I said that, because that's not really how I view, like, a lot of my students that I have. Like, I really don't. I do try to see, like, these moments of them, like, being people and trying to do things. Like, so I try to find that, and, like, yeah, that's why I always commented on your stories, like, that was pretty interesting.
Do you still have Zambies?
I think I might still have Zambies stored away somewhere, like, at my desk. I swear I do.
That's the story that made me want to write.
Yeah.
That because you I forget what exactly happened, but you said something about it, and I was like, wait, what? Like I thought this was like a joke. Like, not that it was like a joke. Like I wrote it, but it wasn't like, I don't know. It was like the first time I was given an assignment that was like, do whatever you want. But yeah. I was also so anti-establishment.
Yes.
That, like, you'd be like, I need you to write a story today. That's all class is. You have to use these 10 words. And I would just say avocado, cell phone, keyboard, controller, tissue box, Pulp Fiction. So, like, and I would list the first 10 words off, and then that would be a sentence, and I would put a period followed by, now that all the garbage is out of the way, let's get into the real story. Like, I was so into, I didn't realize I liked Andy Kaufman.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like, it was very like, oh, let me get on stage and read the entirety of The Great Gatsby. Yeah. Like, and I didn't know that was stuff I would have liked, and like that. I remember I remember trying to get over on the teacher all the time. Like, I was so much like, I think a lot of it was me going, I don't understand why you're qualified to teach me. And I'm not saying you, I'm saying teachers in general. I'm saying like, I don't understand. You wasted how much money and you got a piece of paper so you can teach me? Like, how much life experience do you have? Like, yeah, you went to school, you got your degree, you got whatever you need, but like, if I'm walking down the streets of Mumbai and some guy comes up and he's like, your sneakers are your life, like, do you know how to get out of it other than just find X? Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
that's such an oddly specific thing you felt you were trained for.
You're truly prepared for anything. You're so woke.
Thinking about everything. I'm thinking about everything at all times.
Oh my god.
That's just, I don't know, that was just my mentality.
Yeah, I could see that, because like I definitely saw glimpses of that. I'm not saying I didn't. Like I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do it in the most half-assed way, but still still do the assignment so that you can't yell at me, but haha, like, yeah. I do remember that, but I also remember you like being genuinely excited about some of the stuff we were doing. So
really?
Yeah, like some of the projects you were putting together, and like, oh god, what'd I have you guys do? It was like a infomercial that
the clean latrine machine. I will never forget that.
Yep, like
shout out to Shane and Adrian. I doubt you listen, but shout out to you two.
Yeah, see.
Yeah.
So it's just like kind of stuff like that when you did get excited for it and you put your creativity into it, it was really good. And like, I still love that story that you thought you were getting one over on me, and you were throwing in like the most random Nintendo references. And all of a sudden, the Master Sword comes out, and I was like, interesting, but I believe the Master Sword belongs to Link. And you were
I'm so happy you remember that. I wanted to ask you about that. I remember I never really played a Zelda game, and I looked over at Shane, and I was like, "Yo, what weapon does like what's the name of Link's sword?" And he's like, "The Master Sword." And I wrote it in a story, and you gave me the paper back, and it was like, nice Zelda reference. Where's Link or something? I don't remember exactly.
Yeah, because it was like Mario all of a sudden pulled out the Master Sword. I was like, don't believe Mario gets that.
And I remember looking at the paper, and I looked over at Shane. I was like, "This one can stay." I was like, "This one's all right." I was like, "This one's good."
There's something that I actually remember that has something to do with your assignments.
Oh?
Yeah. When at some point in grade school, you were meant to write like a time capsule paper, and then it was given to you before graduation.
Oh.
And in it, you were like, I wonder if Fallout 4 is out.
Son.
Yeah?
You can't see me right now, but I'm walking around the room because I forgot about this.
Yeah, because you were like, hey, future me, I hope you're enjoying Fallout 4, and it wasn't out yet. Then 2 weeks later, the fucking E3 announcement comes through.
Dude, I have that somewhere. I have to find it because I remember it was like, the intro was like, "Are you still miserable? Yeah? Cool." Like,
oh my god, because I don't read these. I don't know what they say. That's amazing.
you never read it?
No, I don't read them.
Oh, no.
I like sit there and read through everyone's like letter to themselves when they're senior.
I don't know. I wanted to make sure you were making sure the kids weren't writing their manifesto.
No, I don't read them.
Oh, wow.
No, cause I tell them, like, that's completely private. Whatever you want to write to yourself, that's what you want to write to yourself. You print it, you seal it. I'm just holding it for 4 years.
Do you still do that?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I still do it.
Yeah.
Like, in the past couple years, the office is, like, they saw that I do this and it's consistent, and they got really excited about it, too, like the high school office. And they hold the letters until, like, a senior picnic. And then
wow.
They'll give the letters to everyone during the senior picnic.
That's
so they all like stand around and do it. So a couple kids had M&Ms in there from and they ate them. They were like, "Yeah, it's pretty disgusting." Yeah. So I was like, that is not in a temperature controlled room. It's going from extreme heat to extreme cold. It's 4 years of that. And you're okay, sure. Other kids this past year glitter bombed themselves. They just put handfuls of loose glitter all over. I had to give the letters to the office ladies and be like, "I'm sorry, you're just going to get covered in glitter at some point." There's so much glitter.
It's everywhere.
That's so cool.
Yeah. But now like they're getting into more involved time capsules. Essentially, some kids are giving me envelopes of just all this stuff, letters from friends. They're getting friends to write letters to them. They have old assignments. They went to old teachers and got like letters from them, and they put them in there. And yeah, so then they're doing their little time capsule.
Wow,
that's pretty cool.
Some kids even said that they, like, as a senior, they decided to do this for themselves. They wrote a letter, gave it to their parents, and put it in like a safe place, and said, when I graduate college, or give this to me in 4 years, I want to see what I sound like.
Really?
Again. Yeah, that was really neat.
I kind of wish I would have done something like that.
Back then I was still plucky and had stars in my eyes. Now I'm just a corpse talking.
Oh, you sound like a college student. I remember those days.
I remember the eternal suffering of a higher institution of learning.
Oh, I remember sitting in my bathroom at 2 a.m. reading critical literature. Because my roommate had to sleep.
Oh.
Wait, why'd you have to read in the bathroom?
Because I didn't want to be too loud. Because she had to wake up early. How loud
are you going to read?
I don't know.
Do you read out loud in different voices?
I needed the light. It was like better, and if I turned it on, it would like shine directly into her eyes. So I was like, you know what? Whatever. The bathroom is really large. I'm just going to go in the bathroom. So I just remember sitting on the bathroom floor because think about this. This is a 2 o'clock decision. This is a 2 a.m. decision. All right. They're not good.
It's not the finest version of yourself.
Exactly. But they're made. Things happen. All right. So this 2 a.m. decision, I just remember sitting there reading literary theory, and it all sounds the same, and it's all this. Is the text really from the reader? Does the author really control the text once it has been written? Or is it the reader's job to interpret what the author meant? Or is it just the reader's job to interpret how they believe this thing actually is?
That sounds terrible.
Ownership? So I had to sit there and read this for like 20 pages.
It sounds like people trying to talk about the Bible.
18th century English. I just remember that class was one of the bane of my existence that year. It was just terrible. It was a terrible class. Yeah, but I don't even remember what we were talking about. But yeah, oh yeah, college turning me into a zombie. Totally does.
You should write, Declan. You should write a letter to yourself.
Yeah,
you should.
Yeah, I mean you're already halfway done, but I would still write a letter to myself.
Oh yeah. You wouldn't believe how much will change.
Because I'm thinking about that letter.
After this, I've only got 2 more semesters.
Do it. Who cares?
Yeah, do it, dude.
It's like, hey,
or give it to like your parents and say, hey, once I have a job for 2 or 3 years, give this to me.
Yeah.
Because that would be a really cool transition.
I think that's the thing that a lot of people don't think about is their growth as people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I've ever said this to Declan, but the death of innocence really bothers me.
Yeah, we've talked about this before. Not on the show, but in general.
Well, I don't know if I've ever said it to you in general before. No, and I think when after I had you as a teacher, I think that's when a lot of people's innocence started to die.
Mm-hmm.
And I could see it.
Not that it was her fault or anything.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. No.
I was just out there slaughtering innocents.
No, it's a lot of
It's just it's the age.
Yeah, it was 13, 14, 15. I was just
it's truly the age where a lot of transition happens, and then you get into high school, and a lot of that. It's why a lot of nostalgia happens when you start going through high school, and that when you're younger, you don't understand that. And I try to tell the kids that I have now, I'm like, no, you don't understand. When you're a senior, all of a sudden you're like, crayons, I want to play with stickers,
Pokemon.
Yes, you just
Pokemon had a huge comeback.
You have this childhood moment where you're like, oh my god, I've lost my, you kind of have that realization of, I'm going into the world, I've lost that youthful, and you just kind of want to go back to your childhood a little bit and revisit it because you miss it, but you're never getting it back. Stay gold, pony boy. Stay gold.
I think when I had you as a teacher, I'm not going to lie to you. You made me understand that I liked things better than I thought I did. And I didn't think of myself as a smart person. And
thank you.
Hey, you don't got to thank me. And I kind of went into high school and the quote unquote, and it makes me sound when I say it, but the death of my innocence hit me in a big way.
Mm-hmm.
I think, and I think that the club itself was a great kind of
a last hurrah.
Yeah, it's this is it, homie. This is Eden. This is
symbolic end.
Yeah, this is, and when it ended, I think it was kind of okay, my childhood is over.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of this is. We're gonna get together and we're gonna talk about why Megas XLR is one of the greatest cartoons ever made. But then tomorrow you have to just kind of exist and do homework again. And it was a lot that it was getting me. It was okay, we're gonna get there. And it was a lot of. I'm just gonna say it because if I don't, there's no context. It was a lot of, yes, your heart is broken, but there's nothing you can do about it. And these are people that have the same interests in you, and it doesn't matter how old you are, you still like it.
Mm-hmm.
And I would meet up with people and be like, "You guys ever play I Ninja? Isn't that the greatest game ever made?"
Oh my god!
Oh my god! Remember the day we just did old cartoon intros, and we were let's just watch Simpsons intro, and let's just watch episodes of Ed, Ed and Eddie.
I don't remember that.
We spliced together all these intros and days of just all these old cartoons. I remember that because I found them on YouTube and Netflix, and we were going through just all these old cartoons and Johnny Bravo and just having a nostalgic cartoon day.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
I vaguely remember. I remember sitting in the room and sitting on a blue chair and looking at the projection screen and yelling things at you to do things. So I remember. Do we watch Powerpuff Girls?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot of. It's a weird time for a lot of people, and it's just. I don't know. I remember the one day we had in the club we had. By the way, the club was called Quarters with a Z because we were all a bunch of white kids.
Yes, you were.
But we had to be from the street, you know.
I remember I couldn't change your minds about that too. I was like, Z, really?
Yeah.
You want to do the Z? You
No,
guys were
it
like,
had to be.
Yeah, Roxors. And I was like, all right then.
Ooh.
But there was a day where we all sat around and wrote letters. You gave something. You gave out a prompt, and it was I go.
Oh my god! I still have that letter.
Do you?
I remember it was extremely emotional.
Yeah. I remember yours, and I remember the room got real tense, and I think I
cried.
It got to a point where it was like,
holy fuck, dude! I remember. Oh my god!
I remember you finished, and nobody wanted to go up, and I felt really bad because when you read it, I knew I was kind of around for when it happened. What you talked about, Declan,
yeah,
and I didn't really know you all that well at the time. So I wanted to go over to you and talk to you about it, but I also didn't know what to say.
Yeah.
And I remember there was one kid who came out and said that he felt like he was a trans person.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the first time I'd ever heard that being used ever. And I was sitting there leaning back in the chair going, I don't know what this is, and I'm very interested. And I remember afterwards, I asked one of the people that were in the club. I was like, "What does that mean?"
Mm-hmm.
I think you asked me, or you know.
Yeah, but I remember that was a big thing, and I remember somebody said something. Some ass just came out afterwards and was like, "Oh, this kid said this," and I remember you gave a speech, and it was like, "I've never seen you upset. I've never seen you upset," and you were like, "I thought about canceling this week because of this."
Yeah.
We agreed this was solidarity. This was just this was a learning. I think I don't want this to sound wrong, but I think you might have been the pusher that got me into thinking deeply about things.
Ooh.
Because
wow.
I mean, because this is as far back as I can think of thinking more deeper about what things mean.
Yeah. Oh my god. Aw. Doing what I do, that's all I could really hope for. Honestly, doing what I do, that is the highest compliment you can give me.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, so thank you.
Because it's not, oh, well, I memorized these words or I did this. That's it right there. Actually taking away something from my class that you still implement in your life. It is a thing that you still do. That is it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Thank you.
No, I remember that's it. Because you guys said you wanted to feel more connected as a group. Because you were all, you said, oh, well, we want to kind of feel more connected as a group because it was the beginning of it. And you just wanted to feel like you knew more about everybody. And I said, oh, well, we could do, it's called a writing circle where you just do a free write for however many minutes. And you start off with, sometimes I remember, and you just write. And then if you forget, you just start off with the prompt again. Sometimes I remember. And you just write whatever goes in your head about it. And then that's what comes out. And you can share, you don't have to, but it is that kind of, you're surprised at yourself of what you start writing on that paper. And when you read it out loud, it's giving it life. You had that thought.
Bringing it into the ether.
Yes.
It's real once you said it.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I remember I knew that could be a powerful experience. And then when the one kid came out as trans, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
This just got real fucking real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I was so happy that he felt, and that's what I was most disappointed in. I was so happy that he felt that it was something that could be shared in that moment. And that he could get it out and like it could be in the real world and other people could know about it. Like I was so happy. And then for somebody to just go and like use it against them. And that's what I never wanted to happen, is for someone else to, because you're in high school. Oh my God, I now have the best gossip about this person and I can spread it. And that is what killed me about that. Like that is the moment that absolutely killed me, because it takes so much for a person dealing with that to open up and say it in a public forum that that's what they're dealing with. And then just
and if it weren't for quarters, there would have never been a platform for them.
Exactly. Like how would they bring it out?
Radio hour.
Yeah. Crazy. And then like I've had at least 2 to 3 other students through the years who've also been trans, and I'm the teacher who will stick up for them. And I will call them the right pronouns, and I will call them the right name. And I've been in contact with at least 2 of them past them being with me, because they just appreciated that person in their life who is an authority figure, acknowledging them as a person. Like, yeah. But and you don't always get that. They just don't. And it kills me.
Did we ever find out who said anything?
No, they never came up. They never came forward with who said it.
I always thought I knew who it was. I always thought it was this one kid because he never really showed up, and he showed up this one day.
Yeah.
And he was the type of cat that would always just kind of, like, he'd make fun of people, like, real hardcore. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that I'm above making fun of people. Everybody deals with their own shit in their own way. But I remember this kid showing up, and I remember sitting next to him, and I was like, I didn't read mine out loud because of him being there. I remember.
Yeah.
I was like, this isn't a good look.
Yep.
This isn't a good look.
Yeah. Technically, make fun of me. I went to a public school.
But do you know who else might have gone to a public school?
No, why you gotta fucking end it? I was really enjoying this.
Shane Ivers. Vince, do you want to tell our audience about Shane Ivers?
Shane Ivers is a beautiful, beautiful man. And he makes beautiful, beautiful sounds. And he makes our intro track, Feather Duster. Okay. And you can get it at his website, which is, what is it, Declan?
That's www.silvermansounds.com/freemusic/featherduster.
Now you can get it there. You can use it for your own things, but I prefer if you didn't, because we use it for ours.
It is now ours forever. We have a blood pact. And if you want to join our blood pact, you can find the show on Twitter at Atomic Radio Hour.
You could also find myself on Twitter at _Boogans. What about you, Declan?
You can find me at Declan_BN.
And if you'd like to follow us or have a deep conversation like this one here, you can follow us on our Discord. There'll be a link in the description for our Discord. If you're on YouTube, thank you. Subscribe. Thumbs up the video. Yeah. We are on every single, I could be wrong, every single streaming platform.
We're on the big ones.
We're on Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, CastBox, probably a couple others.
Yeah.
You can get us there. We also have a Twitch.
Yeah, we stream once in a while, and special guest Kyle is starting to stream more regularly.
I don't know how regular he's going to be because he just bought the time sync that is Kingdom Hearts 3.
Oh, I'm waiting. I'm waiting for the summer, or else I will literally fail this semester.
Yeah, I'm not probably going to talk to Kyle for like a week. So if anything, maybe one of us will jump on. If not, there's a little bit of a lull. We also have a Patreon. There's a link in the doobly-doo below, or wherever you're listening, that there's like a link to things.
Yes.
It's not mandatory. It's just to help the show grow. I will never ask you for money, and the show will always be free.
But if you do want to help us get better mics, that's your place to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you want to? You don't want to plug anything, do you, Heather?
Nope, can't say I do.
Yeah. Declan, you want to plug anything?
No. I just want to say thanks to young Heather for being the guest this week.
Thank you.
It was my pleasure. We really talked about
some real stuff.
Scribe Yearling.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. Scribe Yearling. She a real one.
She was awesome. Books, man. Books are awesome. Knowledge. It's power.
So, all right, everybody. There's a show that's going to show up. I don't know what it is. It's coming at you.
Have a good weekend.
Yeah. Call your grandparents, please.
Don't unplug Grandma.
129-2079. I joined the 80s just north Salt Lake a few months ago, last year sometime. Some pretty alright guys. We had a pretty good score last week. Some fucking muak thought that Hot Knife was joking when he asked for your money, your chims, or you life. Fucking numbskull. February 7th, 2079. It is so fucking cold. Fucking burr. What the fuck ever happened to nuclear winter? February 14th, 2079. Death claws have been attacking left and right on the exit that we use to get onto the highway. I am not really sure why. Hot Knife wanted me watch the gate for them, but I told him to fuck right off. 2/27/2079. Hot Knife can jump off the fucking interstate for all I care. Her tried to tell me that he saw me letting Death Claws in, as if I was checking their fucking code at the door. I told him he needs to calm down on all the chims. He put a gun in my face. He can go fuck himself. I think I am gonna head south towards New Vegas. Get loaded and fuck hookers.
Atomic Radio Hour.